How do we start modeling now? So let's zoom onto this image, and there we have some basic dimensions. We can see that the speaker, well, is circular, so we can use the screw modifier. It's a wolf object. And from the front view, we can see that on the left side, this is nice and linear, but slightly tapered. We have a bottom and the top diameter and some details for the curves. So our process will be that we block this out very simplistically and then step by step start adding more details to it. Okay, so we will Shift S cursor to world origin. That's good. Shift A, then we will create a plane. This plane is really big, so we will have a maximum size of maybe here, let's say 20 centimeters. I am in front view X, we can see here. So we want to rotate this along X by 90 degrees. Very good. This object is 20 centimeters. Very nice. Okay, so why can't I click this one? Good, this happens. You see, I had actually reference still active as my collection. So I drag this one into there and then click on this collection. Every time when I now add something, it will be added to scene collection. I had references still active, so everything was added to reference collection. And in the previous video, I turned this one off, which is why I wasn't able to click on it. Now I can. Okay, so very good. So we have grid snapping still turned on, so we move this one up, hold the control key and snap it to the ground. Very good. The whole object is 5 millimeters off the ground. So we can go to Z and then here type in 10.5. That moves the whole object a little bit more up. Nice. To prevent any rotation issues, apply rotation. So now rotation here is 0. Then we go into edit mode with tab, Control R, click and escape. Select these two right points, X and delete. The upper line should be 7, the lower line should be 8.7. To make this very easy to see, we will turn on our edge length. You see I have this command added to my favorite menu. Here it is. There's overlay, right click, add to quick favorites in case you don't have it. So 10 centimeters. I want this to be 8.5. This is very easy to do. I can either move this point by 1.5 to the right. So GX, and pay attention to the numbers. Click, and then here 1.5, I can clean this up. So it's really 8.5. Keep in mind these programs round the distances, and based on how much of a rounding in the back you see, that's how precise we are. Again, we're in Blender, we don't have to be super precise. We want to model fast and not necessarily be slowed down by technicality. This should be 7, so this is very easy. We press so GX and then 3 and enter. Or now you can also use the command key, bring this over, and while I'm sliding it, type in 3 and enter. There we are. 7, 8.5, 20. Yeah, cool. Okay. So based on the measurements here, 10 and 9, this should actually be 19. How do we set this up? That's actually pretty easy. We select this point, GG. So we slide it and slide this down till it reaches 19. And then this point, we move down via vertex snap, snap to that position. What do we have here now? 7.08. So a little bit of an inaccuracy. Move this very slowly, 7. Okay, there we are. This is fine enough. The center line here we will select and delete. And now we have our basic block. So how are we now adding all these rounded corners and details? The corners here can be done via filleting these corner points, but then the rest, it's a little bit more complicated. And I will show you an interesting process what we will do now. So in this view, in object mode, Shift A, plane, and we will say size 1 centimeter and rotation 9. There is a little plane. Okay, so this one, I did the same. See here, rip, come, be in here. Hold on 1 second, let me do this one more time. Okay, good. Now it adds it to scene collection. After I talked about the reference collection being locked, I still had the reference collection as again selected. So this one we bring up. This actually along, I will apply the rotation. So Z is really Z. I will make this 21. Oh, 2.1, sorry. And then I bring this one down, snap it to there. Okay, so you see here, this is actually where membrane is. So this should be 21. And here this is 6 millimeter. So I make a copy of this object, 0.6, move this up to there. Very good. So I have, think about those as little little guides for distances, etc. Okay. And yeah, how do we now continue? So this should be 2 centimeters. This is my plane, and I call this one out speaker block. And then Control C, Control V, make a copy. And this block here I will hide. Select this so I can continue working on it. So I have a backup model in case something goes wrong. This should be 2 centimeters. And we can simply bevel it. So bevel, and nothing really happened. Well, it's because we tried to bevel in an edge when we want to bevel a vertex. There we are. 2 centimeters, segments 15. And it looks nice and smooth. The shape 0.6. We'll actually go with 0.5 because things are very fluid here. 0.55 maybe. Yeah, let's go with 0.55. And then we see here another thing comes up. So how do we do this? And that's actually where this spacer we created will come in very handy, because now I can exactly see where I want my next circle or ellipse to be. So the cursor is down here. I can actually select this point, Shift S, cursor to selected. So it just simply moves up to there. Shift A, circle. Let's say 64. We will turn this edge length off, rotation along X 90. Radius is way too big. There we are. Okay. Maybe to there. And then location along Z, we can even, you see, slide this up a little bit. I'm holding the shift key, so I do a really nice soft movement. Maybe 128. I will make the radius 20. You will see what I'm doing here, and then I'm sliding this up. Okay. So I added actually a lot of extra points, but in the end later I only will need these points here, no? This is where I'm really curious about. So let's say 256. So we have finer points. This all looks actually pretty good. This 20 centimeters, yeah, is nice. So I will move this a little bit further up, and then I will do the following. I press B, middle mouse button, and drag over these points. So only those are not selected, and then I press X and delete vertex. Select this point here, X, delete vertex, B, left mouse button, drag over this. We have this still turned on. GZ, hold control, snap this down to there. So you see now this is all snapped to there, more or less. Maybe a little bit of hand movement up. And now we need to figure out, okay, so from here, how do we blend this one over? Let me show you something. AA, C, and then we paint over all this. Escape. Shift D and move this to here. Again, this is the x-axis, so we will where's the mirror command? Mirror along x. G, bring this to there. Okay, G, hold control. Now, so there we can see, so this comes up, and then this goes down. Okay, yeah. Let's do the following. I move this one to here, G, hold control. Perfectly, that snaps. This point I move to here, press X and delete to select these 2 points and fill the missing element in. So now you see this is one big piece. Cool. Okay. So now what we kind of established is a nice curve that goes up, and then this goes down, and this basically tells us now that so this and this point is not good, and this is also not good. And here, this one, we can turn this on, by the way, if we want to. G, hold control, zack, snap to it. And this one, maybe we move up just a little bit. So we're smoothing out that curve. Look at that. Yeah, not necessarily too bad. Maybe a little bit of eyeballing. Yeah, I mean, this is, there you can see, you know, this looks nice and smooth, and then here, it's a little bit too choppy. So what we will do now is the following. We will add a circle one more time. So Shift A, circle, and there we are. Rotate 90 degrees. Circle is down there, so we have to move this one up. Where is it? I'm holding the Shift key. So maybe the size has to be a little bit made smaller, and then I move this one down a little bit more. Maybe size a little bit smaller. Yeah. Okay. So there we can see now this actually starts to look a little bit better, and then here's the inflection point. So here, this multiplied by 2. Look at that. Very easily to add more points to it. Then GZ, move this one up. B, middle mouse button, select all this, X, delete. Then B, select all this, X and delete. B, select all this, G and Z, move this one down. Oh, what happened? This was still turned on. GZ, move this down. Okay, And so, zack, zack. So those I select, delete, there we are, and then you maybe go up a little bit, fill those two. Yeah, now there we can see this starts to look a little bit better. Maybe move this down a little bit more. 1 point here is too much, so dissolve it. And now we're trying to patch in kind of like this transition. Very good. Let's do a sweep. And 64. Let's go to this. We will have to turn this on. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is not necessarily super perfect, but it's actually quite nice how we modeled this going up. And then we have this transition going into there. We can go to this view, tab edit mode, and then see, yeah, when we move these points, is there something really that's going to change a lot? Or is this fine? Let's keep this where it is. This is all currently good. Very nice. Okay, so that area works. Let's now take a look at how we can do everything down here. This is pretty much, yeah, kind of like the same way. So 2.5 point. So here we will go to this, move this a little bit, and then we have to switch this to vertex 2.5 centimeters, 15. I will keep this for this exercise at 0.5, so this is actually going to be more circular. Here we used actually a 0.55, which kind of like turned this point here a little bit, made this a little bit flat here, so maybe we, yeah, anyway. Let's go back to here. Because this we made this bevel via a 0.5, so which is a true quarter arc or tangent. When we delete this point, select this with B, Shift T, Escape, Control M, X, bring this over, G, X, and snap. You see that this is now really a circle. Here, you can see that this area is not good. Something is kind of flat here. And that is because when we did this rounding, we did this more with a 5.5. And I'm not going to make you redo it, but it's actually it's good to keep this mistake because it shows you how sometimes things can look good actually at first, and then you start noticing that there are some odd flows. So I'm now here trying to work on this transition. Very minimal. I move this down. Yeah, this actually, now you see, it looks better. Okay. So to make this area down here a little bit easier, we just simply work with 0.5, so circles. Good. So, oh, the 3D cursor's up there. And this might be a good moment to show you how we can move that 3D cursor too. We go to View, 3D cursor, and look at that. There, holding Shift, we can slide this one down. Say 0.5. This is where it should be. And looking at this, so we have another arc and a smaller arc. So this is 1 centimeter here. This might be super easy to do. So Shift A, circle, 256, radius 5 millimeters, rotation X 90, 128, 64, 32. Yeah, this might be fine. Okay. And then G, and we can move this to somewhere here. And we also don't have the snapping turned on right now, so this is good. Let's do a quick check. So it is indeed actually quite low, like there. So from the ground, there's quite a distance. And now we can put in the membrane that connects it. Okay. We have this circle here. We could make a copy and move it to here and then scale, but then it's kind of difficult to make the circle centered, which is why we simply make a new circle right where the 3D cursor is. Can scale this one up. 256. With shift, move this one down. 20. With shift, move this further down. This is, for example, too flat, so 40. Yeah. When I said like too flat, this circle sticks out really a lot. So here, multiply by 2, very good. And GZ. Oh, this goes up to there, and then this is what we measured. This really sits in a lot there. Okay, well, good. This is perfect. So B, then we middle mouse button, deselect these points, X, delete the rest, go to here, L, move this over to here, to maybe something like this. Okay, so one point is on this X line, and then the next one is kind of there. Do we have a measurement here? 3 centimeters. Let's check something. And we can actually do it here. So Shift D, Z, move this down, E and X, 3 centimeters. Yeah, no, 3, okay. Ah, look at that. We are slightly off. So this circle should actually, so this point should be there, but hey, for what we're doing, this is fine. Again, we're just doing a concept model. And in this exercise, I'm showing you how simply via polygon models, we very quickly block all the stuff out we need. So all this we X and delete, and then GG, we slide this down a little bit more and then connect these two, or bring this a tick up. And then here, U and U, F, we just fill it. Cool. Okay, so let's see how this looks. And there, now we can see this clearly. The how could I say that? The bottom part, and then there is the membrane and the speaker at the bottom. We have an interesting line here. You see that there. Oh, that's because we have there 2 naked points. So let's turn this on. G, hold control, snap. There we are. Okay, very nice. So some very basic mesh modeling using vertex, bevel, and then working with the 3D cursor and adding the circle and moving everything, vertex counting to then create nice and smooth transitions so that we then can take this and create a revolve object. And then in the next video, we will add some of the interior details.